So till now we discussed immorality and morality. Now we are discussing lower and higher morality. You see, dharma is very good, very grave. Sometimes the dharma is also very dynamic. You have to weigh the situations and know what is appropriate dharma at that point of time for us to act. There is a letter of the law and there is spirit of the law. Letter of the law means the superficial application of a rule. Whereas spirit of the law means understanding the total picture. I'll tell you an example which will make it simple for you. Once there was one Gandhian, in India. Later on, after Gandhi, in Gandhi's times, the later years, there was a great scarcity for khadi in India. So, this fellow, he would wear simple pant shirt, which is made in India only. Simple, very simple, cotton. You know cotton? Simple cotton pant shirt he would wear. Whereas there was another fellow, he said, if khadi is not available in India, I will get an imported khadi from abroad and they will wear because I am a Gandhian. He was saying. So he was wearing imported khadi, he was wearing. So out of the two, whom would you consider as follower of Gandhi? First one or second one? Why? What's the reason? See, the purpose of Gandhi in introducing khadi is Swadeshi. One is the profit should go within India only. Another one is simplicity. So both the spirit of the law was understood by the first man. But the second man was attached to the letter of the law. You understand, no? He thought that Gandhiji told we should wear khadi, so he is getting imported khadi and wearing. And no profits are going to India, Indian poor people. Plus, imported things are more costly for himself. Correct, no? So, whenever you do anything, you have to know the spirit of the law. Another example I'll tell you. One big Marwadi family, they had made a beautiful Radhakrishna temple surrounded by a beautiful compound wall with a lot of nice gardens around the temple. And there was a gate from which people would enter and then come inside the garden and then go to the temple, take darshan and go. So one very elderly couple, they had come in a car. So they put their chappals in the car and they came out. It was a lot of kiched, muddy ground. So they walked up to the gate and the watchman stopped them. And he told them, see what, I have put up a board here. You know what's this board? They looked at the board, leave your shoes here. So it was written. They said, no, we have left the shoes in the car only. We are going for darshan inside. He said, no, you have to bring the shoes, he said. And they were saying, why? Board is, unless you bring the shoes, I won't allow you to go in. He was saying, what is this? This is called as what? Letter of the law. Correct, no? Because watchman was a foolish person. Actually, the purpose of putting the board, leave your shoes here, is you should not take the shoes inside the temple. Correct, no? But this fellow was misapplying it. Similarly, in following morality also, the end result should be accomplished in following morality. Like for example, the Supreme Lord should be pleased by our right behavior. Another story from the Puranic pastime, there was one Kaushika sage who was taking bath in a pond, in a river, just opposite to his hermitage. And a cow came running in that area. And she was very, very afraid, looking here and there. And she entered into his hut, went inside. Then after 5-10 minutes, a butcher came with a chopper in his hand. He was also looking here and there. And then he saw the sage taking a bath. And he asked the sage, did you see any cow passing through this way? So now the sage was a little afraid. He thought if I tell him the truth, he may kill the cow. Correct, no? At the same time, if I tell him lies, then I'll be falling from the platform of Brahmanatva. So he thought very deeply. At last he showed the hand. It went into my hut, he said. So the butcher went inside and brought the cow outside and took the cow to his place and he butchered the cow. So, because this Brahmana spoke the truth, in the next life he became a Brahmana again. Again he was going to a village. It was getting darker at night, and then he stayed in one house in the veranda with due permission from the owner of the house. Because in Vedic times the houses would have a veranda. You've seen that? Outside they have veranda and covered also. So he was just lying in the veranda with his. They have this kind of thing. You've seen that? He was just lying in this. And middle of the night, the lady of the house, she came out and she woke up the Brahmana. The Brahmana got up. She said, "You are so handsome. Come, let's both go into the jungle and enjoy. My husband is fast asleep," she said. Oh, the Brahmana was shocked. "How dare you say such a thing? Women are supposed to be chaste. Huh? This is not proper. It's not befitting you to speak such things. Give up your lusty attitude. This is like a Shurpanaka attitude." Huh? He started preaching to her. So she became angry on the Brahmana. So she went in the house. She said, "Wait and watch what I do." She picked up a knife and stabbed the husband. Huh? And the husband, poor fellow, was sleeping when he was stabbed. "Ah!" he shouted and he died on the spot. And immediately the lights are put on. Huh? And the Brahmana went inside to see what happened. In the meantime, she started screaming loudly. And all the neighbors came. 30, 40 people came. Panchayat leader also came with a big turban. Huh? Kya ho gaya? Kya ho gaya? What happened? And then she told everybody that this Brahmana wanted to enjoy my body. So he killed my husband to enjoy me. Like that she said. And the Brahmana was shell-shocked by this new invention of this lady. Huh? He told everybody, "I never did such a thing. I don't know why she's saying like this. I cannot understand." So the Panchayat people said, "Brahmana cannot be killed. It will become Brahmahatya." But because he killed this man, sometime in movie you see, somebody comes and takes the knife and then he becomes this thing, Like that the Brahmana got into trouble in this situation. So they decided to cut off the hand of the Brahmana because he killed that fellow. So the Brahmana's right hand was lost, and then the very same time he left that village, and while passing through the jungle, he was praying to God, "What is this? I didn't know I am a Niraparadi. For being Niraparadi, my hand was cut." And then when he was sleeping, he got a dream, and God revealed to him, "See, in your Purva Janam, you were a Kaushika sage. You showed the direction of the cow with your right hand, so your right hand was cut. Because you led to the murder of the cow. That is why your hand was lost." And the cow became the lady in the next life. And the butcher became her husband. So the cow killed the butcher. Correct, no? So in this way, the karmic reactions are very fine, very subtle, how they come. So the decisions we make in our life are very critical, very crucial in each situation. So some of us may be holding on to the letter of law. Letter of law means just holding on, "I am a Brahmana, I should speak the truth, that's all. I don't care what will be the consequences." You can't say that. You have to compare the dharma, which is, right now, at this time I have to save the cow. Saving the life of the cow is a higher dharma than speaking the truth. Correct, no? He could not analyze in that way. If he was a Vaishnava, he would have done that. Because Vaishnavas always catch hold of the spirit of the law, not just the letter of the law. You understand, no? So, one day Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing in the Jagannath Mandir next to the Garuda Stamba and taking darshan of Jagannath. At that time there was a heavy crowds of people, and a lot of instruments were played and kirtans were sung. So one old Orissan woman, she climbed on the shoulder of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One leg she kept here and another leg she kept on Garuda Stamba. Like you've seen Garuda Stamba here in our Balaji temple. She kept one leg on that, one leg on, and then she could reach out to see the deities. With great eagerness she was seeing Jagannath and smiling. Jai Jagannath, she was very happily taking darshan. And seeing that other Vaishnavas like Govinda, servant of Mahaprabhu, he shouted, "Hey lady, get down! How dare you are putting your feet on the Lord's shoulder? It's a great offense." And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Govinda shouting and he said, "Hey Adivasi Govinda," he called him. See, Adivasi has a double meaning. One meaning is, hey, you are like a palmer, you are scolding her, see her devotion. How she is taking darshan of Jagannath with such great eagerness. I wish I have such eagerness in taking darshan of Krishna like her. Like that Mahaprabhu said. And another meaning of the word Adivasi means, Adi means very old, Vasi means associate. So Adivasi means you are my very old associate, don't you know my heart? Huh? That's the meaning of that. He said, this old woman may be not aware. See, she's putting one leg on Lord's shoulder, which is offense to Lord. And another leg she's putting on Garuda's thumb, which is offense to devotee also. Huh? One offense to devotee, one offense to Lord also. Huh? Still, her behavior was not considered offensive by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can you say why? Huh? Because in spiritual world, there is only one rule. You have to love Krishna. And there is only one nished. Nished means don't. That you should not envy Krishna. That's all. There is no other rule in spiritual world. Rule is, vidhi is you should love Krishna. And nished is you cannot envy Krishna. That's all. And all other rules are subordinate to these two rules in spiritual world. And because this Horizon lady, old lady, she was having such a bhakti for Jagannath, she was very easily forgiven for these two offenses. You understand, no? Because she was very innocent, and in the crowd she was eager to take darshan. In her eagerness, she was trampling upon the Lord's shoulder and Garuda unknowingly. But although there was a mistake committed by her unknowingly, still it is neglected by the Lord, not taken seriously because of her bhakti bhav. That is why the bhav is very much emphasized. You all know that, no? One song we sang, Krishna Govinda Gopal Gate Chalo. Boliye Krishna Govinda Gopal मन को विषयों से विष से हटाते चलो कौन कहते हैं भगवान कहते नहीं वेर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं द्रौपदी के जैसे हम बुलाते नहीं द्रौपदी के जैसे हम कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं गोपियों के जैसे हम नचाते नहीं कृष्णा गोविंद गोपाल गाते चलो मन को विषया से विष से हटाते चलो See, it's a very beautiful Vraja song, Vrindavan song. This whole song is about bhav. If you have bhav, you have everything. All other mistakes are tolerated by Krishna. Shabari is giving, after eating some fruits to Ram, he is very happily accepting. Correct, no? Yashoda is taking a stick in her hand and chasing after Krishna. He has no problem. Have you ever seen somebody you chase with a stick and they are still happy with you? It's only possible when you are in love with them. Correct, no? When bhav is there, you have everything. That is why the spirit of the law is more important than letter of the law. Correct, no? So we should know what is higher morality. Higher morality is spirit of the law. And lower morality is letter of the law. So we should not go by the externals. We should always compare which is higher. Like somebody is bringing prasad for you. Say they have brought some Vrindavan, Son Babdi or something. And they want to give you. Just now you finished your heavy lunch prasad. You have eaten up to your nose. some rice particles are coming from the nose. Huh? You know? And you have no place in the belly. Somebody is coming and, Prabhu, here is Son Babdi from, I have brought from Vrindavan for you. And if you say, no, Prabhuji, just now I finished my prasad, I don't want. So they may get little hurt. Correct, no? So what will you do? Take it. Oh, I said, you'll take it and keep it. Oh, very intelligent, huh? Later. Yes, you can take it and keep it, but sometimes they are eager to feed it themselves. They will break a little bit and they'll want to put in your mouth. Then what you will do? Ask them to give very little bit. Actually, by accepting little bit, you don't spoil their mood. Correct, no? Very little accepting. That won't hurt you. Huh? Taking little. So, in this way, in our dealing also we learn the art of understanding the spirit than superficially. As Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling in one lecture I heard, he said, there is a rule that in front of the deities, you should not do namaskar to anybody. When the altar is open, Before the altar is open, we do dandavat to others. But after the altar is open, we don't do namaskar. So some visiting, some monk, some renunciate, some Gaudiya Vaishnava came to one temple, some sannyasi, sadhu. So immediately all the people are offering obeisances. And he turned around and he chastised them. He said, hey, why are people offering obeisances in front of the deities? Don't you know the rule? Rupa Goswami says. And all of them, many of them got frightened. And some of them ran away from the temple hall. And some of them didn't know what to do. Whether to go left or right, they didn't know. He's angry with us. So, Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling, he was following one rule which Rupa Goswami said. What is that rule? No one should do namaskar in front. That he was following nicely. There was another rule he was breaking. One should not chastise anyone in front of the deities. You know that? So one rule is following, one rule is breaking. But out of the two rules, which is more important? Not yelling at somebody in front of the deities, because Lord will be more upset. He is surely going to ask that fellow, hey, why are you shouting like this? Lord will be more upset. But Lord may not mind the devotees offering obeisances who are unknowingly offering. They don't know the rules. Similarly, sometimes what happens in our temple hall, somebody is sitting in front of the deities, like this, they're sitting, like this. Like this, you are not supposed to sit. How many of you know? You are not supposed to sit like this. Yeah, you are supposed to sit like this. If some newcomer is sitting like this, you have to very politely tell them not to sit like that. You can go to them and touch them and tell them, please come, you sit here, please take this prasad. You have to change their posture. But if you tell them, hey, wait a minute, I'll get the NOD book. See here, this policy, you are not supposed to sit like this. Or sometimes people show the back to the Lord in the temple hall, Of course, we have written one slogan, nobody should click photos of themselves. You saw that? You can click Lord's photo, you can click, but don't click your photo along with the Lord. That you should not. We have written. So they can't show the back, but some people may not be aware. See, they are new people, innocent people. So if you yell at them, hey, don't you know? How are you showing back to the deity? They will get frightened. Is it not? So sometimes over rigidity in the application of rules may not serve the purpose of the rule. Actually, the purpose of the rule should be served, the end result. That's very important. For that, the spirit of the rule should be understood. That is why the lower and higher morality has to be understood. Yeah. Like, like one boy is filling up the sadhana card. Every week he gets only 40%. And when I went to the voice, I came to know that one devotee introduced me. He said, Prabhu, he never stops filling the sadhana card. Every week, last 8 months, he has never failed 1 week also. Every week he fills up sadhana card. I said, wonderful, but there is only one small problem. Said, what is it? He never goes beyond 40%. 40% soul score and 60% body score. So what is the purpose of sadhana card? In case you get 40, 60, then what you should do? Yeah, you have to improve the score. No? Somebody, I fill it up very nicely, but I don't care. Like in one of the voices I went, they were saying, some boys write Mahamantra punishment in the morning 4 days a week. for coming late in the morning. So they very nicely come half an hour late and they write Mahamantra very nicely and they give it. And so then I told the purpose is not served. What is the purpose of Mahamantra punishment? Huh? They should feel some pinch and then they should start coming early. But this fellow is saying we will write. Understand? So the purpose of rule should be served. You understand, no? So let us understand the spirit of the law, not just the letter of the law. So this is lower and higher forms of morality are there. We should know how to apply when we are... we have a policy in our temple that when brahmacharis are traveling in a sumo or any car or anything, there will be no woman allowed to travel in the same vehicle. Because it will be bad preaching, no? We don't take. So yesterday I was in the temple there, in Camp temple. So they came and asked me, when Mataji wants to go in the car, can she sit next to the driver? So immediately the policy came to my mind. We have a policy, no Matajis can go. Then I asked, who is that? I looked, my Lord, she was almost 72 years or something. Like this, No teeth was there and, her eyes are sunken inside and completely. She wanted to go from that temple to this temple. I said, no problem, you sit in the front. Then we told her to sit next to the driver. So sometimes if you are overly rigid, no Mataji is allowed. Poor lady, she's a very old lady. I don't think anybody will misunderstand. 4 or 5 brahmacharis are sitting behind and this old lady is sitting in the front. Any of you will misunderstand us? You understand? So when you apply the law, we should know what is the right method of application, you see. So we need to know lower and higher forms of morality. Now we are coming to the highest morality or transcendental morality. Yeah. See, till now we have been discussing about following morality properly. But remember one very important thing. Following morality is like following the traffic rules. When there is red signal, our Gadi will stop. When there is green signal, Gadi will move. And then when I am going in India, I will keep my car on the left side. When I am traveling in America, I will keep my car on the right side. Wonderful, sir. You are following all the rules. But where do you want to go? He says, that's what I don't know. He says. Then what do they use? Simply following morality is not enough if you don't know the ultimate purpose of all morality. The ultimate purpose is, as I told you, standard morality. In Prabhupada Lilamrita and the BTG article, part of it is given there. Prabhupada defines standard morality means that morality by which the Supreme Lord is pleased. That is standard morality. So, when you are going in a car, there has to be some goal, destination where you want to reach. Correct now? So, the destination of all morality is ultimately to please Krishna. So, here let us... So, we will recite one verse. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam hatyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param stanamupaiti chadyam. See, it's a very amazing chapter, 8th chapter, where Krishna, in the previous verses you will see, Krishna will say rules like, see here Krishna is going to say, according to Vedic opinion, there are 2 ways of passing from this world. One in light, one in darkness. When one passes in light, that means day, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns, he takes body again. Similarly, and then he is saying, before that he will say, Dhumo Ratristata. One verse before that also. Uttarayan Dakshinayan, that is also one verse will come here before then. Yeah. I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world, the yogi does come back or does not come back. Huh? So if you leave the body in Uttarayan, that means like January to July or August, that period, that is Uttarayan period, then you won't come back. But if you leave in the Dakshinayan, you will come back. All that Krishna said. Now Arjuna became frightened. How can I make sure that I leave my body in Uttarayan, and that too I have to leave the body during daytime only? Ratonat koi mar jayega to kya hoga? Not only that, you have to close all the holes of your body. Like, if you are passing out of the buttocks hole, then one becomes an animal. Or the urine hole. If the soul goes, of course, soul doesn't need a hole to go out, but the prana vayu goes through that. So wherever the prana goes, along with the soul also follows that path. So if you go, the soul leaves through the eyes, house, then one becomes a Brahmana in the next life. But if the soul breaks the Kapala, Brahmarandhara and goes out of this, then he can go to any destination he likes to go. Like, he can go to Siddha Loka or Brahma Loka, wherever. But how can we control that? There are some yogis, with the heel of the leg, they plug the, buttocks hole. And then they plug all the other holes so that the soul will leave only through the Kapal. Now any of you can try to do that? So, Krishna told all of those rules and everything. See, finally what he is saying here. This is another thing, Uttarayan I told you. See here. This is the verse he says about Uttarayan Dakshinayan. See, Agni Jyotir Ahashuklah Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vidojanaha. See, Uttarayanam you have to leave, he is saying. All that he is saying. And then here he will say, afterwards what Krishna says here, he say, Shukla Krishna Gati Hete Jagatah Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yatyana Vrittim Anyaya Vartate Punaha Anya Avartate Punaha. They again come back. That means you have to leave during, if one leaves during Shukla or Krishna, during light or darkness, that I told you already. And then here he is saying, see this verse, Naite Sriti Partha Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. Although the devotees know all these two different paths, oh Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore we always fixed in devotion. Why? Because for devotees they don't have to follow these rules. These are only for yogi babas. For devotees, they just depend on me. I take them back to Godhead. Like that he is saying. See, Prabhupada says, a devotee of Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart by arrangement or by accident. The devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness, chant Hare Krishna. He should know that concern over either of these two paths is troublesome. Best way to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to be always doubtful in his service. And this will make one's path to spiritual kingdom safe, certain and direct. Three things he says, you see. Safest path is to depend on Krishna, like a child depends on parents. If a child wants to go to New York, will the child have to find out which flights are available? Where is the airport? Which flight I have to board? He doesn't have to worry. He just cries and the mother lifts the child and takes him. Like that. Like that he's saying. And then here, next verse, this is the verse I recited now. Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva. Here Krishna is saying, Vedeshu means, please read the translation. Who has the mic?
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities,
Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva Daneshu, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Fruitive activities is Karma Kanda, philosophical is Jnana Kanda.
Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
See, Krishna is telling, if you are a devotee, whatever fruits the other fellows are getting, that is included in your fruits. Like you heard this, Sau Sonar ki, Ek Lohar ki. You know that? A sonar has a small hammer. Tuk, 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 like that keeps hitting. Lohar takes a big hammer. Thad! Like that it's finished. Blacksmith hammer. Like that, Bhakti path is called as one stroke method. Why? In one stroke, you leave, quit the material world and you go back to Godhead. Whereas the Karmakandi person does some yajna and goes to heaven, Jnanakandi person goes to Brahmajyoti. You also go through heaven, you go through Brahmajyoti, but you go to spiritual sky. So you don't lose out on anything. Now Krishna is telling, by being a devotee, you get everything. Just like in a village, sometimes there is a pond for taking bath, there is a pond for doing abhishek of the deities, there is a pond for washing clothes, there is a pond for washing back after passing stool, different kinds of ponds. But if there is a running water, river, then all the activities can be done in one river only. And that river is like Krishna. When you take shelter of Krishna, then you don't have to go to different paths. All the paths, whatever fruits they give, Krishna gives you. Like that Krishna is telling. That is why devotees, morality means simply follow what Krishna says. That is our supreme morality. Surrender to Krishna, whatever he says. He is the supreme. There is no one equal to him. There is no one superior to him. And no one can challenge him. And nobody can do any favor to him. If you give him any gift, that gift will be something which has emanated from Krishna only. You cannot give anything to him. There is only one thing with us which we can give him, which is our love, our free will we can use in serving him. Otherwise everything else belongs to him. That free will also he only has given us. He has given us the freedom which we can offer back to him. So that is why devotees devotees completely abide by Krishna's ichcha, Krishna's will. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna asked one question to Arjuna. Arjuna, did you listen to me properly? This is the duty of every teacher to ask the student. Sometimes a teacher is asking, hey, I am teaching so much mathematics. Did it enter your ears? Did it enter? Teacher is asking, and that fellow is looking something. It entered. Because some lizard has entered into a hole or something. So, similarly, when a teacher should ask, and Krishna is asking, Kaschidetat shrutam partha tvaya ekagrena chetasa. I'll show you the verse. Kaschidajnana sammoha pranashtaste. Okay, I think this is a verse, Dhananjaya. Yeah, this is a verse. See, you'll recite this verse, nice verse. Kachidetat shrutam partha. Etat means, till now whatever I have been telling you, shrutam, did you hear properly? Tvayekagrena chetasa. एकाग्रता चित्त के साथ सुना कि नहीं तुम? कच्चिदज्ञान सम्मोह. All your ajnanata and moha, your illusion for your relatives and friends, and your ignorance of the difference between body and soul, all that ignorance of unawareness of that spiritual knowledge, that ignorance. So all that, is it gone? Pranashtaste. Pranashtaste means, is it destroyed now? Are you now alert and awake? Now you understood everything? Like that he is asking. And then here, let us see what Arjuna is saying. Arjuna will say a beautiful answer. He will say, Arjuna uvacha nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan maya achyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. See, Arjuna says, Nashto moha, my moha is, illusion is destroyed. Smritir labda, my Krishna consciousness has come back now. Tvat prasadan, by your grace, Krishna is saying, Maya, by your mercy I am now freed from this illusion and all. Achyuta, O Krishna. Stitaha asmi, I am firmly situated in Krishna consciousness now. Gata sandeha, all my doubts are dispelled. Karishye vachanam tava. That means I will exactly act according to your instruction, he says. Karishye vachanam mama or tava? Yeah, mama means what? I will act according to my will. No, I will act according to your will. In the beginning of Bhagavata, Arjuna was acting according to his will. Now he has changed that, you see. Karishye vachanam tava. In this way he surrendered. Similarly, every living entity in this world, this is what we should do in our life. By associating with Krishna's divya jnana that Krishna is giving, Gata Sandeha, our doubts will be gone. Sitaha Asmi, we will become situated in Krishna consciousness. Smritir Labdha, we will revive our Krishna consciousness. Nashto Moha, all our illusion will be dispelled. Everything Krishna will do. Like we say, Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite, that will be gone. So Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashito. So Krishna is doing all this for us. So what we should do, we should say Karishye Vachanam Tava. Just surrender to Krishna. Now we are coming back to the highest morality is to simply surrender to Krishna. Now please read it, this one. The religious rituals.
Thus religious rituals without spirit becomes ridiculous, while spirit gives ritual the life by making it spiritual. In the same way, morality requires understanding of lower and higher principles without which one can act foolishly. For instance, imagine you have exhausted all your 12 causal leaves,
Casual leaves, yeah.
casual leaves, and one month sick leaves in your company. One day, the owner of the company came to your department and congratulated your recent innovation that brought great profits to your company. He says, I am giving you 2 months half from your work. Go home and have fun. Will you obey him, or you will argue with him that your leaves for this year are exhausted and that you cannot obey him? Similarly, we have to obey mother and father. Beyond them, there are demigods. Beyond them, there is Supreme Lord. There is no one above him. We should simply follow what he wants us to do, and that is ultimate morality.
Yeah. All have understood this? Yeah. So, like owner of a company gives you leave beyond the quota that is allotted for you, you can accept because he is a number one man, supreme boss in the company. Correct, no? In the same manner, where what Krishna speaks is law. That is supreme dharma. No one should try to take a candle and search for the sun. Where is the sun? For seeing the sun, which light you need? Torch light or candle light or hurricane light? Sunlight. So Krishna should be understood by Krishna's. Krishna only can tell us about himself. Nobody can tell us. In fact, Prabhupada said, I am just repeating what Krishna said about himself. Because Krishna only can speak. Like Arjuna asked Krishna, can you please tell me about you, Krishna? Krishna said, yes, I am God. He said. In this world, if anybody says, you will think he has ego. Saying he is God. Why we say he has ego? Because somebody is not God and he says he is God, that is false ego. Correct, no? But if God is saying, I am God, that is not ego. He is telling the facts. If he doesn't say, then who can say? Correct, no? Like child is asking the father, who are you? And the father saying, I am your papa. How can you say that? You can't say that. He has to say, otherwise how will you know? So aham bija pradapita. I am the seed giving father of everybody, Krishna is saying. So, in this way, he is the person to whom everyone should surrender, ultimately. So the traffic rules, I told you that example. Please read that, the highest morality.
The highest morality is done when one simply acts out of unconditional love for the Supreme Lord, without any selfish motives. Sometimes such acts...
See, in Bhagavad Gita, the preliminary stage is you do the work without any selfish interest in the results. That's called karma phala tyagam. We say like that. Then you do the work with the aspiration of purification of heart. I want to clean my heart and I want to advance, elevate my consciousness. Then you do the work with the understanding that Lord is supreme. I have to. He is the only supreme. It's my duty to surrender to Him and offer my fruits to Him. You are not just renouncing the fruits, but taking fruits and offering it to Krishna and Guru. And then you come to the point where you understand, I am not just offering fruits to the Lord. He is the embodiment of love. Krishna is everything for me. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dana Pran. Then you with unconditional love you worship Him and you are very happy to offer not only everything to Krishna, you offer yourself to Krishna. That kind of unconditional love awakens in a devotee's life when a devotee does everything only for Krishna. Yes, go ahead.
Sometimes such acts may be considered immoral in the eyes of the public. Imagine that you are a high court lawyer and your uncle has committed a crime and you have to fine him a big sum. How, how would you feel? The same was the situation for Arjuna. He saw his own cousin like Duryodhana and company following the path of adharma, and he was to punish them through the Kurukshetra war. Although Arjuna had no personal motives, he was ordered by Lord Sri Krishna to fight the fratricidal battle for the ultimate welfare of the whole world. Thus, although killing is a sinful act, Arjuna fulfilled the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, knowing well that Lord is the supreme well-wisher of the whole creation. He cannot think of anything inauspicious for the living entities.
Yeah. So you all remember I told you, did I tell you here how everybody in the battlefield of Kurukshetra went back to Godhead? I showed the verses from Bhagavatam. I didn't show it? Okay, I'll show you. Tataiva chanye naraloka veera ya ahave Krishna mukara vindam netre pibanto nayanabhiramam parthastra padamapurasya. Got it. Now I got it now. Yeah. This is the verse. See, it says, Partha means Arjuna. See the word to word. Astra Puta means purified by Arjuna's arrows. See, Arjuna's arrows are not different from Krishna's arrows because he is exactly following Krishna's instruction. Correct, no? Puta means what? Purified. That's why Puta means pure, Na means not. Putana means? Yeah. Because she came with impure motives. So, Partha Astra Putaha Padam Apurasya. They all achieved the Padam, abode. See here, read this. Read this.
Certainly, others who were fighters on the battlefield of Kurukshetra were purified by the onslaught of Arjuna's arrows. And while seeing the lotus-like face of Krishna, so pleasing to the eyes, they achieved the abode of Lord.
Padamapurasya. Everybody in the battlefield. Some people say, how can Lord enact such a war where crores of people were killed? Yes, crores were apparently killed externally seeing, but they all attained the abode of the Lord. Is it not wonderful? That's why one name of Krishna is, I told, did I tell you the other day? Hata Ari Gati Dayaka. That's the name. Hata means kill. Ari means enemy. Gati means abode of the Lord. Dayaka means one who bestows. Hata Ari Gati Dayaka. That's one name of Krishna. So, Krishna is such a powerful personality, such a pure Lord, that even when he kills somebody, it doesn't cause inauspiciousness. It brings auspiciousness. Is there anybody here who can kill somebody and it becomes auspicious for them? Can you imagine? Krishna is so divine personality. Anything he does is divine. If his killing can be so auspicious, how much more his embrace and his blessings can be. You can imagine. Is it not true? That's why one should know that assisting Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra in the mass massacre, apparent mass massacre, is actually not a sinful activity. Because being the Supreme Lord, he is capable of delivering everybody. Just like imagine if a doctor is bringing a scalpel and a surgical instrument, knife or something. A small child may cry out, "Hey, you are killing my father or what?" But the doctor will say, no, I am doing a surgical operation in his belly to save his life. Just like Lord Narasimha did the first class surgery for Hiranyakashipu, transcendental surgery. He did, no? And he liberated him, delivered him. Prahlad didn't shout at Narasimhadev. Rather, Prahlad, what he did? He garlanded him. You can see that with full understanding. So Lord's killing is not killing at all. The Lord is called Samam Bonam, which means he is a sum total of all good. There is nothing bad about him. Any place he enters, that becomes auspicious. Just like he enters into Aghasura's mouth, the fishy smelling mouth became fragrant. Huh? Just like sometimes you take a newly purchased rubber, some pink color rubber from out of the packet. You see how fragrant it is. So Krishna's body is fragrant like that. He entered into Aghasura's mouth and it started smelling wonderful. You see? There is another demon whose Krishna's touch, that body rendered fragrant. Anybody knows? Putana. Earlier she was Putana, she became Put after that. She became purified completely. So, in this way, why we follow Krishna? Because Krishna cannot cause inauspiciousness to anybody. Because being the Supreme Lord, he can bring about the ultimate good for everybody. Even those to whom he apparently kills also. Understand, no? And that is the reason why Vibhishan joined the side of that Ram. Yes, what's your question?
This verse speaks about all those who are purified by the onslaught of Arjuna's arrows, right? So everybody.
Arjuna's chariot is driven by whom?
Krishna.
He is ordering. Arjuna.
Yeah, but everybody was not killed by Arjuna, na? Like many people could have been killed by others.
Also it says that here, if you see this verse, if you see, one is they were purified, but others were seeing the lotus-like face of Krishna. See, Netre Bhivanto Nayana Abhiramam, very pleasing to the eyes. They were Mukha Aravindam, see? It says that they were all watching the Mukha Aravindam, the lotus-like face of Krishna. See, at the time of death, if you are seeing Krishna, what is the result? You are remembering Krishna, yeah. Is it not? It's a very beautiful verse. There's another verse I will show you. See this verse. What is the last line? Yamiha nirikshya hata gataha swarupam. 1939. See this. He says here, meaning of the word nirikshya, by looking at Krishna, hataha, those who died, gataha swarupam. This is another verse. They got the original forms. See, at the moment of death, Bhishma Pitama is saying, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna. Who is it? Krishna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original Swarupa after death. This is the question he asked. See? Whoever was seeing him, they got their Swarupam. Gata Swarupam. Gataha Swarupam. They all attained their. So these two verses in Bhagavatam clearly indicate that none of them attained any inauspiciousness in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's clear, no? So in this way, surrendering to Krishna is glorious. So if you are going for selling Bhagavad Gita, somebody tells you, why Krishna killed so many people, you should tell this to them. Then they will understand. Many people don't even know this. Correct, no? So, sometimes this is actually called transcendental morality, to surrender to the will of Krishna. Like Krishna was telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, you go and say that Ashwatthama has died. So that's what Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj to say. But Yudhishthira was very famous for what? Never to speak a lie. He's Dharmaraj. So he was very much hesitant. And that is the reason why his chariot, which always used to go above the ground, came to ground level. Because he was unwilling to follow Krishna's instruction immediately. Instantly he didn't follow. He was hesitating. There are some Karmakandi Mahabharatams you will read. They say, because Yudhishthira Maharaj told a lie, the chariot came down. They say like that. Whereas the Vaishnava commentaries say, why the chariot came down? Because he hesitated to follow Krishna's instruction. Then, of course, Bhima was ready to go and say, Ashwatthama died, but Dronacharya wouldn't take him seriously. Is it not? So then Bhima killed one elephant named Ashwatthama, and then Yudhishthira was ready to speak out. He said, Ashwatthama, Marova, Kunjarova, he said that. So the Ashwatthama, the elephant, has died, he said. So Krishna wanted to make sure Dronacharya doesn't hear anything about the elephant. So he blew the conch shell in between. Ashwatthama, whoop, died, like that he said. So ultimately Dronacharya thought, if Yudhishthira is saying that, it has to be true. Correct, no? But now, in this world, telling lies is considered a great sin, is it not? But such a so-called sin on the absolute platform is truth, it's not sin. It's actually on Krishna's order, Yudhishthira Maharaj spoke it. This is called transcendental morality, the highest morality. I'll ask you a simple question. One of your very thick friends comes to you and calls you for a movie. Chalo yaar, we'll go for a movie. But you don't want to go. So what reason will you give him? If you tell him, see, ever since I became a Hare Krishna, I am chanting 16 rounds. I rise early in the morning, and one of our principles is not to go for movies, not to go for parties, and we also follow these 4 regs. Like that, any of you will tell him? Yeah, then what will you tell him? Yeah? He will say he has some studies, he will say. He will say, अरे मुझे भी studies है, कल पढ़ेंगे ना. कितने हर दिन पढ़ ही रहे हैं हम लोग.
I have a headache.
He will say he has headache. Huh? And he's saying today my mood is not there, he's saying. Okay, if you say my mood is not there, he will say the film is a very special film. It's an award-winning film. He will try to impress you and pull you. Yeah, you can say health is not good. I am feeling feverish. I am feeling headache. You can say this. But he will say, "Arey, sab theek ho jayega. Apply some Vicks or something and come. He'll go." He may push you. One very best thing to say is, "Today I have dysentery problem." He cannot call you anywhere out. Anyway, that he cannot test also whether you have dysentery or not. Is it? Anyway, this is also a lie, correct, no? But this is a transcendental lie. Understand? How many of you feel this lie is justified? Yes, we can tell, no problem. Okay. How many of you say, Prabhuji, this is not proper? How can a devotee tell lies? Anybody feels like that? Okay, nobody. All of you agree. Okay. So sometimes a devotee may tell a lie like this for the sake of safeguarding his Krishna consciousness, but not to harm anyone. Our desire is to not harm anyone. Another example I'll tell you where a devotee may be apparently breaking the law. In one city, they had to do Ratha Yatra, and they had submitted the petition for permission in the roads, but the government people are not saying yes also, no also. They said, wait. And the day before Ratha Yatra day, they said no. You cannot have Ratha Yatra. So they lost 3 or 4 lakh rupees. Because all the arrangements, pandal, everything was made, they couldn't do. So next year again they were trying 3 months before for permission. When they went to the office, they understood, if you want permission within 1 or 2 days, then you have to, give some 500 rupees. Because the Ratha Yatra, totally they spent about 20 lakhs. But if you give this 500 rupees in the office, within 2 days they will tell you yes, not even no, they will tell you yes also. Because there are people who can move the file in such a way that you can get permission for Ratha Yatra, and all over the city you can go. Sometimes there is problem because the dome goes up and down in the Ratha Yatra. You've seen that? Yeah, because of that. So, now how many of you feel that devotees can give 500 rupees and get it in 2 days so that next 3 months they can peacefully collect money, no problem? You feel, okay. How many of you feel, how can devotee give bribe? You feel. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu, what would you like to do if you are in that community, congregation? You can give the mic to him. What would you suggest to the temple president? Now the temple president is thinking, let me pay 500 rupees and get the sanction within 2 days. Next 3 months I have no problem, And Ratha Yatra is sure shot going to happen. And thousands of 10,000, 20,000 people will come and benefit from the Ratha Yatra, he is thinking. So what will you tell the president? What would you suggest him, your idea?
We try to convince him. And
what will you convince him?
like 2 times convince him. And if
Whom
not,
to convince?
the municipal
Who?
corporation, government.
No, last year they had a bitter experience. They went every 2 days, every 3 days to the office. And they were begging, please, pass it. And they said, चल रहा है थोड़ा, बहुत फाइल पड़ा है, 20 फाइल पड़ा है, हम क्या करें? They were saying like that. But at last minute, they backed out and said no permission the day before. So this was the experience last year. So this year, see, the problem is they are not saying no also. They are saying देखा जाएगा, बाद में बताएंगे. Like that. So what you should do? He can try to give them prasadam, but some people are not satisfied with only prasad. Yeah, they want special prasad. Lakshmi prasad. Yeah. Some people ask also in some offices, अच्छा आप ISKCON के लोग हैं क्या, आइए थोड़ा लक्ष्मी प्रसाद दे दीजिए, आपका काम हो जाएगा. In India it has become a vogue, in many places. Vogue means in practice. So, would you say that year after year after year, let us go on with no permission, let Rath Yatra be stopped, no problem. But we should not cultivate the habit of giving bribe. So that means we are putting morality over spirituality. Correct, no? Sometimes we may have to bend the morality a little bit for the sake of the large scale welfare of the spiritual welfare of the masses. Because when you do Rath Yatra, 20,000 people see the Lord, they eat prasad, they chant and dance, they pull the Rath, so much spiritual benefits are there. But some foolish living entities in between are putting a stumbling block just for 500 rupees. You throw these peanuts and get the work done. And then you can conduct the festival. Although from a mundane moral point of view it is wrong. But from a spiritual point of view it is not wrong, it's right. Another example I tell you. One day Parashara Muni was walking in the bank of a river. And suddenly there was Akashvani in the sky which said that, hey Parashara, the constellation of stars in the sky now is very appropriate for the Supreme Lord to appear. So now immediately go approach Satyavati, who is the fisherman's daughter, who is going in a boat. You unite with her and you should beget a child, and that child will be the Supreme Lord who will appear in the form of Veda Vyas. So Parashara Muni immediately called for Satyavati. She came and he said, this is the instruction of the Lord for me. When I unite with you, there will be two results. One is the Supreme Lord will be born through you, and your body, which is always thinking like a fish because your father is having fish business, now it will start becoming fragrant. Matsya Gandha. It will start becoming rendered, your body will be rendered fragrant. And in those days, if a very great sage is speaking like this, Parashara is not an ordinary sage. So she also obliged. And then the child that was begotten was Veda Vyas. And her body became fragrant after that. Now somebody else may say, Prabhuji, can't I go to some girl and say the same thing? I think it's Lord's will that we both should unite now. Only pig will come out. Isn't it? With such a kind of lusty union. So, Parashara Muni had no lust for Satyavati at all. He is a great sage. But by the order of the Lord, he accepted this instruction and he begot Veda Vyas. The Lord himself came. So this is actually against mundane morality. But it is transcendental morality to simply obey the instruction of the Lord. He simply obeyed. So sometimes the Shastras say certain things which they may get bewildered when you hear. Why someone is doing what he is doing. Like you see, Karna was extracting the wheel in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Lord Krishna told Arjuna, Arjuna, this is the right time, you hit him. And Arjuna was hesitating also. Then Karna looked back and said, hey, actually prior to that Karna and Shalya had a fight, quarrel amongst, verbal battle, and then Shalya left the battle and went away, leaving Karna alone. So Karna was trying to extract the wheel which was submerged in the mud. He was trying to take it out. He told Arjuna, do not cherish the path of the cowards. He said, you are a great hero. Wait a minute. As I get on the top of the chariot, again we will ensue the fight. Now don't fight with me now. This is an inappropriate time, he said. This is immoral. It's against the Kshatriya code, he said. And Krishna came in the front and said, oh Karna, today you are talking about moral principles in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Where was your morality when you told Duryodhana to bring Draupadi to the Sabha and disrobe her naked in the public? It was you who gave the suggestion. Where was your morality at that time? It was you who told Duryodhana, send the Pandavas to the jungle. And when the Pandavas finished their time duration and when they want to return back after the incognito period, it was you who told Duryodhana, don't give the kingdom back. It was you who was always, it was you who asked the 7 Maharathis to hatch a plot against Abhimanyu, to kill that young lad who was 16-year-old. It was you who originated that plan. Where was your morality at that time? Like that, some 12 to 14 items Krishna told him. And then Krishna told him, today you are speaking morality, you will not escape with your life. Hit him, Arjuna, he said. Immediately Arjuna hit after that. So, some people say, why did Krishna resort to immorality in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Actually, Krishna, for him, this battlefield is not a very great thing. In the beginning of battle, if Krishna released his chakra, he would have finished the entire Kuru dynasty. Is it not true? Mahabharata will be only one page only. At the beginning of battlefield, Krishna Arjuna came in a chariot and Lord Krishna looked at all the battle and he released his chakra and he finished the entire battle. And Mahabharata war ended. That's all. बाकी लोगों ने क्या किया ताली बजाया बस. See, Lord is so kind that He wants to give everyone a chance. 18 days He was riding the chariot of Arjuna. You see? So, why Lord, for Him to follow the moral codes is not difficult. But He says in Bhagavad Gita, I'll show you one verse. Bhagavad Gita, I'll show you. Dyutam chalayatam asmi, He says. See? Dyutam chalayatam asmi, tejas tejasvinamaham. He's saying, see here he says, I am also the gambling of cheats and of splendid I am splendor, I am victory, I am adventure, I am strength of the strong, he says. Prabhupada says here, see, there are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating process, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As the Supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided, Prabhupada says. So, now, some people say, why did Krishna ask Arjuna to hit Karna when he was extracting the wheel? Actually, it is not difficult for Krishna to tell Arjuna to kill him at a proper time also. But Krishna wanted to tell Karna and Duryodhana and all this Shakuni, you all are such a cunning fellows, you tried to kill the Pandavas in so many devious ways. Now if you can cheat, I can cheat 100 times better than you. That's what Krishna wanted to show. That is why Gandhi could accept Ram very easily. But Krishna, he had a serious problem in accepting Krishna. Because Lord Ram fits into his morality box very nicely. Eka Patni Vrat. But Krishna has 16,000 queens. It was difficult for him. And Ram also is, he accepted the order of his father and he followed. It was easy for him. It was easy for Gandhi to accept. But if you see, Krishna's morality is very difficult for Gandhi to understand. Also, somebody asked Gandhi, why is your Krishna dancing with so many gopis in the Rasa dance? And Gandhi could not answer. When they repeatedly asked him the question, he said, if Lord Krishna really did that, I feel ashamed to call myself a Hindu, he said. Which goes to show how limited is his understanding of God. He didn't know that. So he was stuck in the mud of his own morality. You see? That is why in our Utkarsh camp we were talking about how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shankaracharya, how Shukadeva Goswami, they all are glorifying the gopis of Vrindavan. How many of you attended Utkarsh camp? Okay, how many of you couldn't attend Utkarsh camp? There are a few. Yeah. So there we spoke about the gopis and then headed by Srimati Radharani. These are glorified as the ultimate devotees in the entire universe. Because Gandhi had no information, he was busy with politics. So, in this way, we need a teacher, Sadguru, to teach us this transcendental morality to understand it. Otherwise, we can be bewildered. Please read this. The following examples show.
The following examples show how a devotee transcends material attachments how a devotee transcends material attachment to family, nation, caste, creed, color, race, etc. and acts only as the servant of the Supreme Lord. They also show how mundane morality is on platform of goodness and spiritual morality is beyond mundane morality. Request your teacher to discuss a few examples to understand them.
I'm already discussing a few. Huh? Yeah. So how many of you know why did Bhishma fight on the side of Kauravas? Anybody knows the reason? Yes? Yes, what's the reason? Yeah? Okay, very good. Any other reason you had? He was in Viryaras. Very good. You all know that. Okay, how many of you know that Bhishma was in Viryaras? You are aware. Almost half of them are. How many of you are not very sure what it is? What is this Viryaras? We are not very sure. There are a few. Yeah. Okay. To cut the long philosophy short, I'll tell you very briefly. It's very important to know. Many people, one time when Bhishma was lying in the arrow bed, all the arrows were poking on his back. He was lying in the arrow bed. That time, Lord Krishna told the Pandavas to ask him principles of dharma. So, Raja Dharma, Varnashram Dharma, Stri Dharma, Paro Dharma, all the dharma questions were asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, at that time, Bhishma Pitama heard a giggling sound. Like that, he heard a giggling sound. And he opened his eyes and saw, is it Draupadi? He asked. And yes, it was Draupadi. And he asked, Draupadi, why are you laughing? He asked. And she didn't speak anything. And then Bhishma Pitama himself said, I know why you are laughing. I have been always on the side of Adharma Paksha, Adharma side, with Duryodhana and company. And now I am lying in the deathbed now. And why are the Pandavas coming and asking me principles of dharma? How can a adharmic person speak about dharma? I think that's why you are laughing. But what can I say, Draupadi? All these years I have been in serving the Kuru dynasty. The ruling party was Kuru dynasty, so I have been serving. And because I have eaten their salt, my body was full of polluted blood. Now this Arjuna's arrows have poked my body and all the blood has gone out. Now my body is rendered pure. And that is why probably Krishna has asked Pandavas to ask about dharma principles from me. Like that he said. So this is there in some of the Mahabharats you will read. So in India you ask anybody, they will say, या क्या किया जाए उन्होंने दुर्योधन का नमक खाया इसलिए वो अधर्म के पक्ष में गए. People say like that. Because he ate the salt of Duryodhana, his buddhi became brashta. That is why he fought on the side of Kauravas. But this is humility of Bhishma Pitamaha, that he is speaking like this. Although he is speaking like this to Draupadi, the actual fact is not that he ate the salt of Duryodhana, that's why he fought for them. Some people say he actually fought because he took a vow that whoever is ruling party, I will fight for them. That is one vow he took some time before. That is also not the reason. The actual reason is what many of you said about Viryaras. See, in the Vaikuntha planets, the Supreme Lord Vishnu sometimes wants to fight with somebody. He likes the stunt fighting. But do you think anybody will fight with him there? Nobody can. At best, they will take a rose and throw it on him. A lotus or something and throw it on him. But Lord wants to have a real fight. So what he does? So he comes to this world and puts his devotees on the other side. And he puts them in such a kind of planned illusion that they can fight with him. They become Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, like that Kumbhakarna and Shishupal, like that. He makes them into different actions and fights with them and delights in fighting. Just like a king may sometimes appoint kushti karne wala pahlavan. And then the king and the pahlavan are fighting, having a kushti, and all the queens and all the other praja are all sitting in the stadium and clapping hands and watching. The pahlavan is not an enemy of the king, but he is paid by the king, just to entertain the king. Correct, no? Like that, the devotees like Bhishma are entertaining Krishna by Viryaras, we call it. Just like Sakyaras, Dasaras, there is a Viryaras also. So we could say many pastimes like this. See Bhishma, Prahalad, Yudhishthira. We could quote many like this. How many of you saw Bali Maharaj and Vamana Dev, you know? Most of you know. How many of you don't know Bali Maharaj, Vamana Dev pastime? Only a few, yeah. You can hear from other devotees. Yeah. Those who know. So we could quote many like this. See, can God act immorally? That in this I have given many. See, Supreme Lord is above good and bad. Supreme Lord is supremely pure. So I give many examples. See, Krishna stole. One boy was asking, Prabhuji, if Krishna wants butter, no better he ask and take. Why is he stealing? How can God steal? My spiritual master was telling him, see, even all the butter in all the homes ultimately comes from Krishna, because Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. And also that increases the love of the devotees also, I say. Krishna dancing with gopis. Krishna running away from battlefield. What name he got? Ranchodrai. If somebody else runs away, they will become a laughing stock, you see. When Krishna runs, anything he does is wonderful. Krishna killed so many demons, it seems he's envious of demons. Krishna is never envious. Krishna is never envious. See, Prahlad is born in a demoniac family, but Krishna loves him so much. And Bhaumasura was born to Krishna himself. He was Krishna's son, but Krishna killed him because he was an asura. I mean, he was against Brahminical principles. Brahminical principles means following the Vedic literature, protection of cows, protection of women, and protection of Vedic Sanskriti. If somebody is against it, then Krishna will kill, irrespective of who he is. So that's what Prahlad in one of his prayers in Acharya's commentary, he says that, my dear Lord, you are protecting son of a demon like me, and you are killing your own son who is against your ultimate purpose. Like that he says. So it's not that Lord is that way. For Putana demoness, he gave her padavi of, Datri in the spiritual world, you see. And also Mayadana of demon, when he fell at the Arjuna's and Krishna's feet, he forgave him. Correct, no? So not that Lord wants to kill demons. Even to Vibhishan, Lord Ram told, if Ravana comes now, right here, and he surrenders to me, I will forgive him. I will not kill him. That is his principle. Lord punishing demons is like loving slap of a mother. Yeah, some of the things I told you. So all these different, there are many things which, this I told you about Karna. Krishna is stealing Parijata tree to satisfy Satyabhama. You know this? How many of you don't know? Okay. You see, one day Narada Muni came and gave Krishna, my dear Lord, here's a beautiful Parijata flower. And Krishna took it. And one side Satyabhama is standing, another side Rukmini is standing. Rukmini Satyabhama Vyam Sahitam Krishna Mashri Viprena. And Krishna asked, Narada, why did you get one? You could have brought me two. There are two queens standing on either side. But Narada says, what can I do? I got only one flower. Because Narada likes to create a situation. Where he can create some new pastime from the Lord. And the Lord asked Narada, to whom should I give? He said, that is your decision, he said. So the Lord was wondering. Then he looked at both of them, then he gave it to Rukmini. And Satyabhama was telling, you are giving it to Rukmini? What about me? Krishna said, why only one flower? I'll give you a whole tree for you. Later on. So later on, when he went to Swargaloka to give Aditi's kundal back to Aditi, and Varuna's umbrella also, these were stolen by Bhaumasura, no? He took it and then he was going to heaven. So when he was going on his Garuda, Satyabhama said, you said you'll give me Parijata, I am going to come with you, I want Parijata tree. So she went with Krishna, Satyabhama also. So on the way back, Krishna took her to the Indrapuri, Indra's abode. There in the garden, Parijat was there. So Krishna plucked one of the trees and gave it to Satyabhama. Now Indra's wife, Sachi, and many other goddesses, the demigoddesses, they told Indra, hey Indra, see, from your garden somebody is stealing Parijat. And Indra immediately got charged up. I'm going to attack that fellow. Who is it stealing? And then is Krishna only going, he's attacking Krishna, can you imagine? He completely forgot who Krishna is. So Krishna also very easily defeated him and went back after that to Dwaraka. So Krishna behaves like a henpecked husband by satisfying Satyabhama, but he's not henpecked. Prabhupada says Krishna satisfies all his devotees, whether it is Sudama Brahmana, whether it is Satyabhama, whether it is Gopas or Gopis or cows also. He is sold, his heart is sold out to all his devotees. In fact, the henpecked husband is Indra only. Because he doesn't know that Krishna is the owner of everything. You see? That's all. So we have completed this. So only thing is, now there are some questions I can take for 10 more minutes. How many of you still have some stamina to hear? I can answer your questions. Okay, quickly I'll try to answer them. Female initiation is nowhere mentioned in the Vedas and is unknown. And how can female devotees get initiated in ISKCON? No, actually, the first Diksha, Harinam Diksha is there for females. Even in the past also. Women also. Only the Brahman Diksha is not there for women. They don't chant Gayatri. Otherwise, Diksha is actually, Harinam Diksha is actually taken by all people, whether you are old or young or man or woman, everybody takes shelter of Harinam. But the Brahman Diksha generally is awarded only to men. But in the West, Prabhupada saw there is a very big movement on equality of men and women. That was one reason. Another reason is many women were very much ready to worship the deities in the West. And Prabhupada felt that men can go out and distribute books and earn funds and come, and women can take care of the deities. Because they were practically equal if you go to the West. And our ISKCON temples in the West were more like cathedrals and buildings, unlike the Indian traditional temples. I don't see anywhere in India women in traditional temples worshipping in the altar, like Balaji temple or Srirangam temple or anywhere. You won't see that. But in our ISKCON temples, during Marathon month, sometimes all brahmacharis go out for book distribution and women will be on the altar, you will see. This time I don't think we have. But in some ISKCON temples, small temples, we have women worshipping, and all the men go out. Because ultimately the spirit should be understood, not letter of the law. Understand, huh? Spirit of the law. You told Karna, told the Maharathis to kill Abhimanyu by surrendering him. But I heard that it was arrangement of Supreme Lord, because father of Abhimanyu is wanting Abhimanyu back towards him. Okay, that is another reason. See, just like Kamsa was telling Devaki that, I think, all your children have died because of their own destiny only, okay, their destiny might have been there, but you don't have to become instrument of that destiny. Similarly, Abhimanyu has to go back to Soma when he becomes 16 years old. But Karna need not become instrument to kill him. So, these two are two different facts. But Karna telling those 7 Maharathis plot how to kill him, so he becomes implicated in karma. Karna became implicated in karma. Correct, no? Understand? No? Karna, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyakashipu are great devotees in spiritual world. So, can we respect them or not? See, sometimes you will find when a drama is going on, Mantara and Bharat, they both will be sitting in the green room and drinking tea together, But when they come on the scene, Bharat becomes so angry with Mantara, he is telling somebody, pulling her by the hair. You want to kill her, but woman cannot be killed, So he becomes very angry. So we don't talk about the green room, we only talk about the drama stage. Correct, no? Similarly, if you say, can we worship Duryodhana like worship Krishna, and we can't, See, we don't see their spiritual role, otherwise we can't learn lessons from Hiranyakashipu, you see. We want to learn practical lessons for our life, but from absolute platform, they are all associates of the Lord. Hey, you don't have Amit Maripu, is not there? I will come and join little later. I'll go and come back. Yeah. If some senior devotee or some Maharaj comes to our voice or temple while altar is open, then can we offer obeisance or not? If not, is it not disrespect? Yes, we should offer obeisances. Yeah, we also offer obeisances. For sannyasis and Maharajas, we offer obeisances. We don't... actually speaking, in those days, temples would be small. We come outside the temple and offer obeisances. But our temple is too big. By the time we come out, the Swami will be gone already. So better you offer inside only. It's better to offer than not offer. As we say that Krishna consciousness is spread all over the world, but I see outside people, many don't know ISKCON, they don't know Prabhupada, misconception about Krishna, how it will be accepted by all and all people, because there are many cultural differences. Will all world chant 16 rounds? Please explain in detail. We see many cultural differences. What we follow is ISKCON and other Vaishnavas, Bengali Vaishnavas. How to take that cultural difference? So two things he's asking. See, before Prabhupada went to West, people were wondering, how can any American chant Hare Krishna? But now you can see so many thousands. You know, we go to Mayapur in March month, there will be 10,000 foreigners will be there. You will see them all with Tilak and Kantimala chanting. So Prabhupada has made a miracle happen. Similarly, the whole world, you will see, will be eventually chanting every town and village. You will see it happen. If you say it's not happening, then you should make it happen. It's your duty also. Huh? Because you are learning it. You also should endeavor in that direction. And regarding the cultural difference between Bengali Vaishnavas and ISKCON devotees, don't worry about it. Because in ISKCON, we have devotees from all over the world coming from different climatic conditions, different type of cultural differences. We should become a Saragrahi. See the essence. They are all chanting 16 rounds. They are wearing tilak. They are eating only prasad. Somebody may eat pizza prasad. Somebody may eat spaghetti prasad. Somebody may eat khichdi prasad. Somebody may eat South Indian prasad. Somebody likes Punjabi prasad. So whatever it be, noodles or so many different things. Eating may be different. Some of them, their body colors may be different. Their body shapes and sizes and forms, these are all external. The essence is they are Vaishnavas. They accept Krishna, they surrender to Krishna, they want to go back to Godhead, they accept Prabhupada's philosophy, what he has given in his books. Srimati Radharani's name and worship is not mentioned in any scriptures. Who said? You have to read the scriptures. Devi Lakshmi Mayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata. There is Padma Purana. There are many scriptures which talk about Radharani's. There are scriptures. I can give you 6 verses if you want, 5 or 6 verses. Shamat Shabalam Prapadye, Shabalat Shyamam Prapadye. This is from Vedas, Rig Veda. It says that by surrendering to Shyama, Radharani, I get Krishna. And then by getting Krishna, I get Radha and Krishna. Actually, there are many verses we can quote. Can devotees go in the administrative jobs, like IAS, I think, to set up the absolute morality in society? Wonderful. If you can do that. Only you have to take care of yourself before that. As long as you are safe, you can do that. Don't get lost. Be careful. If you are sufficiently confident, you will not get lost. You can do that. Prabhuji, you said that Krishna makes favorable arrangement for a devotee at the time of death. But last year our 8 devotees died in a plane crash. So what can we understand from this? Oh, very simple thing. The metal body is a changing phenomenon. It can be, either it just falls apart at the time of old age, or it can be taken away by a flood or by a hurricane or by a crash like this. But the metal body is a perishable phenomenon. But why devotees get such kind of things, that is also explained in Shastra. There was one Ram Ranjan Das, Prabhupada disciple, abroad. He took Diksha from Prabhupada. In 1 week he died in a car accident. He was sitting in the side and he died. So his earlier name was Mr. Dosa. So Mrs. Dosa came to temple. She cried out and Prabhupada pacified her. He told her, Mrs. Dosa, do not cry. Your husband was a noble soul. He was a very good soul. Do not worry. He will surely attain a very good destination. And then to devotees, Prabhupada wrote 5 reasons why this Ramaranjan Das was taken away by Krishna. He said he comes from a Muslim family. So all his friends were torturing him, telling him to again become a Muslim, give up Krishna consciousness. Besides that, Mrs. Dosa was antagonistic at home also. She would never let her husband practice peacefully. Every day when he would be chanting, she would be yelling at him. She didn't like him practicing Krishna consciousness. And he was staying at a very far away place, something like 200 miles away from the temple. For him to come and go was very difficult. And his financial situation was very, very weak in his family. So in this way, Prabhupada gives 5 reasons. Krishna saw that his situation was unfavorable for his Krishna consciousness. So Krishna took him away. And he'll put now he'll be born in another devotee family, where as soon as he opens his eyes, he will see his mother with a tilak. She'll be wearing kantimala and she'll put prasad in his mouth. And then now he can happily practice. So Krishna simplifies the life of a devotee to practice Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said that. Now these 10 devotees, why did they get, Shastra say that also. Like some devotee has done some karmic reaction is pending in our account. You can take 10 more lifetimes and then slowly, gradually nullify those karmic reactions. Or in one automobile accident or car accident, there is an intense pain for a short duration, correct, no? If the body is crushed or something like that. So the 10 lifetimes is zipped into one few moments only. And then come back to Godhead. How wonderful it is. So how many of you prefer a few moments of intense pain instead of 10 more lifetimes? Yeah, that's why Krishna gives. It's like one last capsule of pain that he has to give them and liberate them. Krishna does that. So we cannot see it because we see only the present isolated from past and future. Correct now? Similarly, if a devotee is going to fall down, say after 4 or 5 years, because a devotee is going in the wrong direction, sometimes Krishna may take away the body also of the devotee. Why? Because he doesn't want to let the devotee go in that wrong direction and fall down. Rather, leave this body and accept another, because somehow the bodies are not conducive for Krishna consciousness. Some people have done a lot of blunders in their life till now, and those sanskaras are tormenting them to further go in wrong direction again. So Krishna takes away that dirty body and awards them a nice body where they can practice peacefully. So there is a song in Tamil, I remember. Mohathai konru vidu, allal en mochai nirutti vidu. Dehathai chaithu vidu, allal en sindayai maithu vidu. He's singing. Meaning is, oh my dear Lord, destroy my moha, illusion. Or, if moha cannot go away, you take away my body also, he says. Mucha nirthu vidu, stop my breathing, he says, if I cannot stop my illusion. So why the Lord does something to somebody, we cannot understand. Because we see with our charma chaksha, ordinary eyes. But he is ultimately doing for the good of the devotee only. Presently, Diksha Gurus are so busy and we don't think that they will be able to provide time. That's a question. See, the Diksha Gurus can, what they do, like my spiritual master, he takes us to Yatra in Vrindavan or Mayapur every year, 15 days. So every evening we hear him for 3 hours, one-to-one, personally sitting in front of him. Plus, he gives lectures in Bombay for 2 to 3 months, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. We go for some of those lectures. So by seeing him, we get inspiration. Plus, we have his recordings we hear. In the same manner, every spiritual master, Diksha Gurus, they try to provide a yatra for the disciples, where they give long lectures, and they give audio lectures or video lectures also. Sometimes they give Skype online lectures also they give. I think beyond that it will be difficult for them to give time. Then there's other Shiksha Gurus below them, that is a senior disciples, they guide the other people. If the Brahmana sage spoke lie to butcher, then what can happen about next life to that sage? What exactly sage should do at this situation? He should have spoken the lie. He should have told the butcher that I didn't see. If he told lie like that, then the cow would be saved. Correct, no? So, that's why I told you, we should know dharma is very good, you have to know how to apply it. Why Karna was not allowed to compete with Arjuna, though he had the quality? We say birth is not important, but if a person has quality, he can become even Brahmana, then why not Kshatriya? Good question. You see, Draupadi did not want to marry Karna, even if he is talented. There are 2 occasions. One occasion is when Arjuna displayed his strength in the martial arts exhibition. Somebody came from one of the doors and slapping on his arms, that was Karna. He wanted to display his talents. There he was allowed to display talents. Do you know that? And everybody cheered as much as they cheered for Arjuna also. But in another occasion, when Karna wanted to exhibit his talent, Draupadi refused. Some people ask, why did Draupadi refuse? She should have allowed Karna, and if Karna won, Draupadi should have married Karna, people say. You see, Draupadi wanted to see his kulam. His kulam was, he was Sutaputra. He was son of a charioteer. So I asked one boy who asked this question in Pune, 1,000 boys had come once for a Prerana program. I asked him, imagine all of you sitting here, is there anyone sitting here who will say that I am ready to marry a girl from the slum? Anybody here? I asked him. Nobody raised a hand. You know? Then I said, so you have the right to marry whom you want to marry, correct, no? Similarly, is Draupadi not having the right to marry somebody whom she wants to marry? Huh? She didn't want Karna because she understood Karna was low born at that time. He was actually only a putra of Sutaputra. Huh? So she didn't want to marry. It's Swayamvar. Swayamvar means she has the choice. She can reject any candidate. She has the right. Just as you can tell your parents, I don't want the girl from the slum. Huh? I want to marry a girl who is more dignified. Correct, no? How many of you agree that Draupadi has the right to do that? Agree, no? I don't see any problem in that. Although he may be talented, but she says, you keep your talent with yourself, she's saying, I don't want you. No? Sometimes it becomes very difficult to choose between different dharmas in our daily life. What to do? Consult your seniors. Very simple. If Radharani description is given in scripture, then why our acharyas like Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya not worship Radharani? They only worship Krishna only. Why this is so? Because they are more attracted to the Balya Leela of Krishna. Even the Pushtimargi people, they love Balakrishna more in Gujarat side. So they are attached to the Vatsalya Ras so much that they are not so much attracted to Radha Krishna Leela or Sakya Ras or something like that. They are more attracted to Vatsalya Ras. That is some of the sampradayas. In Bhagavad Gita, sometimes Krishna not say me, but he says Supreme Lord or Vishnu or God. Why so? Please explain. Yeah. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, मैंने तुम्हारे को कितना उपदेश दिया है, क्या ध्यान से सुना क्या? तमेव शरणम गच्छ, आप परमात्मा की शरण में जाओ अर्जुन, ऐसे भगवान बताते हैं. हमें आश्चर्य हो कि परमात्मा की शरण में जाओ, परमात्मा भी कृष्ण ही है ना? If Krishna is only Paramatma, then why is he saying tam eva sharanam gaccha instead of become surrendered to me? कभी कभी पिताजी क्या करते हैं, बच्चे को अपने गोद में बैठा के बोलते हैं, बेटा पिता की बात मानना चाहिए. पिता की बात मानने बोलते वही खुद ही पिता है वो. Correct, no? In the same manner, sometimes Krishna says surrender to me. Sometimes he says in another way, surrender to the super soul in your heart. No? But very clearly he says, many places, man manat, surrender to me, very clear. Mam yekam sharanam braja, very clear. Sarvadhan braja. Yesterday you told us about the initiation process by initiation gurus. Can we take initiation by someone who is not initiation guru? That is, can we aspire by them who might in future got example like yourself. Oh, I am very small. I am very young. Actually, there are people like Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, you may be aware. How many of you know him? Yeah. So, like you all know Jayadatta Swami Maharaj, you know. Jayadatta Swami Maharaj is proper disciple, but he has made one of his disciples called Kadambakanand Maharaj to become initiating guru. In our Sampradaya, in Srinivasa Acharya's time, there were 3 gurus. Guru, his disciple, all 3 were initiating. Very amazing. No? There are some cases like that. Generally, when the presence of Guru, the disciple will not initiate, as long as the Guru is in the planet. But some Gurus, even while living, they can order the disciple that you initiate. Then they may initiate. Like that. It may happen to some of those who are sannyasis, but as far as I am concerned, I am too small, too young. There are always ups and downs in Krishna consciousness, so what should I do? Yes. When there are ups and downs, like a boat in the ocean, can be swept away by the wind if it is not anchored to the shore. But a boat anchored to the shore, it will go this way, that way, but it will not get swept away. Similarly, you have to very firmly keep yourself in association of devotees and take to devotion service very seriously to not get, agitated by ups and downs. He's saying regarding Diksha, I heard that having a bona fide guru is one of the one of one's lifetime is sufficient. Is it true? If so, should such a person who had a guru in earlier life accept diksha from another guru in this life and then perfect his life? Or will the previous guru guide him to back to Godhead without a new diksha guru? Previous lifetime means in this life or in the Purva Janam, I don't know. This one. Some of you may be initiated by your Kula Guru or something. But the Kula Guru, if he is not giving you spiritual education, then you need to accept a Guru who has enlightened you and elevated you, and then you should take Diksha from him. Because the Kula Guru Diksha may be very superficial. Because parents told you, you must have taken without much understanding when you were young. Purva Janam or in this life? Purva Janam, oh, that you not even know also. How will you know? No, that is true. Maybe that Guru only has come again in ISKCON now for you. Yeah. I heard that during Diksha all sinful reactions get finished. Is it true? See, on the day of Diksha we put a banana in the fire, which represents all our sinful reaction. But from that day till the last breath, to the degree you follow the orders of Guru, gradually your sinful reactions are burned. It's not like one step function, one instant, it's finished. It's not like that. It's a gradual, to the degree you follow, the karmic reactions are finished. That's all. Now it's time for Bhajan Sandhya, 7:30 now. Correct? Yeah, tell them. Yeah. So I have answered all your questions. Finished. I think still tomorrow you still have one more session for question answers, I think. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. So, I think, see this transcendental morality, we have sufficiently touched the topic today. But in future, you will understand it more and more. What is the difference between Vedic Dharma and Vaishnava Dharma? Wonderful question. Actually, the Vedic Dharma, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, it is generally followed by the common people in general who do not have much knowledge about the soul and Vaikuntha and making ultimate solutions to the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. They don't know, most people. The Vedic Dharma people generally do Dharma for getting Artha. Like they do many, the demigod yajnas and all they do, where they desire to get, like they go do Putra Kameshti yajna for getting Putra. That kind of thing, they do many things like that. So Dharma is done for Artha, generally by common people. Another thing, the Vedic people accept multiple demigods. They go to different devatas for different purposes. Like Surya Devata, you go for your health, you go. You go to Parvati for a good husband. Or go to Shiva for a good wife. Like that you pray. Ganesh for removing obstacles. Like that people go. And also, the Vedic Dharma, people may be worshipping demigods, or they may be worshipping the Brahma Jyoti, or they may be worshipping Vishnu also. So they have the Panchopasana, they call it, beginning with Shauryas worshipping Surya, Shaktas worshipping Shakti, Shaivas worshipping Shiva, Ganapatyas worshipping Ganesh, and Vaishnavas they call worshipping Vishnu, but they are not pure Vaishnavas. They worship Vishnu for getting some fruitive results from Vishnu. When they come to the Vishnu stage, then they can gradually do many Vishnu vratas, coming to Krishna temple, Vishnu temple, Ram temple, and then meet a Vaishnava. Vaishnava actually means love of God, one who practices and teaches Ananya Bhakti. Even a Shudra can become a Vaishnava. Even a Chandala can become a Vaishnava. You don't have to be a Brahmana for becoming a Vaishnava. Because every Jiva is ultimately a devotee of Krishna. So you will know more. Maybe in tomorrow's lecture I can talk more about the difference. Ready? How one Sukriti help one to get love of Godhead? And to how much degree? See, there is Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti, which only can awaken love of Godhead. Karma Unmukha Sukriti will give you punya to enjoy. So, but Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti, some type of devotion service you should have done for the Lord. And that gradually ripens. When it becomes fully ripe, you become an ecstatically situated devotee after that. Brahman Diksha that some gurus do yet don't give any spiritual knowledge. Yeah, that is at home. Huh? By Kula Guru Diksha, does it mean the so-called Brahman Diksha that some gurus... Yeah, that is true. Like for example, many of you sitting here might have got the sacred thread given by your parents. Correct, no? At home. That fellow doesn't teach anything. Huh? They just put the sacred thread and go away. They teach you Sandhya Vandan. No? Yeah, Sandhya Vandan. I also was doing Trisandhya, Prataha, Madhyanika, Sayam. I was doing also. We can do that. But they don't give much spiritual knowledge. They themselves many times don't know also much. Huh? They know how to chant the Vedic mantras. They are mostly Vipras or Purohits. They don't have much deep spiritual knowledge like what Srila Prabhupada taught us. You can see it yourself. And the relationship is very little. They come and collect some dakshina and go away. You know? We don't have a regular relationship with them. Whereas here in ISKCON, you'll find the Guru from whom you're taking Diksha. Every day you hear lecture. Prabhupada's Murti is worshipped every day. Correct, no? This relationship is a everlasting relationship. Vaishnava relationship. Whereas Purohit and all, they come to your home. Swaha, swaha, they do some puja, give some dakshina, send them away. Isn't it? Ready? Now you all can move to the temple hall. This I will answer tomorrow, Vedic Dharma. I'll answer it tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much for your rapt attention and so much patience.